What's good, YouTube? If I title this what I think I'm going to title it, then you guys are clearly here for one of two reasons. You either feel like tarot involves the what do you call it? The manifestation of evil spirits in order to extract information from said evil spirits in order to predict an unknown future. Or you saw the title and you're like, let's see what this person gotta say, because those aren't two things that necessarily go together. Or you're like a subscriber and you're like, okay, like let's see what's up, let's see what's up, let's see what's up, because you know that I do tarot. So before we hop into this, hello, I'm Mojo. I am a tarot reader. And yesterday I had a conversation, or more so, listened to someone's story. I'm not going to say who it is, I'm not going to specify in like any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to do that. But somebody recently found out that I do tarot, right? They they saw my cards, I think they said, because they were checking to see like where I was at. They checked in my room, they saw the spread, and they were gagged. Mind you, and this is like what they're telling me, okay? A week prior to that, because this is like recent, right? Like super recent. So like a week prior, okay, wait. So we had this conversation yesterday. The thing that happened with like seeing my cards, I think was like maybe a week ago. And then like a little bit before that, the person had told me that they heard their name being called, and it was like by, you know, like this room, right? My room. And this person said like, "Oh, like, you were out in the living room, another roommate was out in the living room. Nobody was in nobody was in here." And so then they ended up telling me like this story about how like they used to have like this book that had like, you know, it was like a demonology book essentially. And they used to be into tarot, and like they would talk to dark spirits, and like, um they would be like possessed, or like, dark spirits would be like talking to them, etc., etc., etc. And without saying it directly, this person was like, I'm essentially, well, like through like the cards are like a conduit for evil spirits. And I try to keep what I do under wraps, right? Because I know that not everybody's a fan of not a fan of this. And for that very reason, because people get so freaking scared. So what do I have to say about this? Like, what is my take on, and oh, and just to give it a little bit more of a perspective, this person is a Christian. No, I'm not sure if the values align with Catholicism, and I won't make any assumptions either, but they are indeed Christian. What the fuck do they ever understand about evil spirits? What the fuck do they actually understand? I'm gonna tell you, Nothing. Like literally nothing. Nothing. And I'm gonna tell you why. In this situation, based off of the stories that like this person was telling me, it's no different than like any other experience that I've also heard on an I feel like all of it can be considered anecdotal, right? But like, stories that people have talked to me personally about, um, and they don't know that I do tarot, right? But it's just like, people telling me their experiences of like being scared of tarot and then their experiences with like evil spirits and even how they perceive like tarot, readers and like tarot cards and also just any kind of divination that's not the Bible. There's this common ground where it's like it's just evil, it's demonic, it's a way to conjure dark spirits, and you have to be careful because you may be possessed and you don't even know that you're possessed, and blah 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 blah, all that stuff, right? I think it's just dumb because it shifts the focus outside of yourself into an entity that can make people do bad things. I hate that. I hate that. It's fear mongering at its greatest. It's fear mongering. It is disinformation and a lack of understanding of one's self. So when we get to like the understanding of demons, it's literally a personification of a collective. It's like it's like a manifestation of collective projection of like certain low vibrational traits or qualities, right? And that is a byproduct of letting your own darkness go unchecked for too long. You end up creating the boogeyman. It's like when your internal struggles come up and you don't deal with it and you keep running away from it, you keep masking it, it's literally going to show up in what appears to be outside of you. I've had experiences before with seeing like shadow figures and having what some would call demonic dreams. And that used to be something that plagued my childhood, my teenage years, and then my early adulthood. And it was something that I thought I would have to deal with for the rest of my life. A lot of what is actually considered like a lot of how do I say this? Because I didn't really have an understanding of like metaphysics back then. I didn't have an understanding of, like high vibrational energy and low vibrational energies and what spirits actually are and, all of these things, right? And like how that stuff works. And I always thought that things were happening to me. Then life got to a point where I literally had to face myself and I didn't have therapy. If you watched any of my other videos, you may have come across when I've talked about my experience being homeless, living out my car, and that situation. Like I just said, I didn't have therapy. I didn't have friends. I didn't have nothing. Okay, during that time, nothing outside of my dreams, and I put so much work for like as long as I was homeless and then and even exiting that situation all the way up until now, I'm always reflecting. I'm always, checking in with myself. I'm always, doing my best to make sure that I'm on a progressive path. I don't have like scary experiences. But it's funny though, because after having, well, actually, I don't even know if I'm gonna go into that because I had some like pretty crazy dreams last night, and I've not had dreams like that in a minute. But like, you see how I'm not like tarot cards are demonic and, and I open up portals and I'm you know, it's like I sat, I reflected, and I grew. I learned from those dreams, and then some of them I'm still, like working through the interpretations. But just based off of my experiences through life, it's like every single time I worked through my greatest fears, every single time I was faced with a situation that was scary, regardless of how long I prolonged it, I eventually had to sit down with that thing and I had a decision to make. Do I face it, or do I lose myself and constantly blame anyone, or in this case, anything outside of myself for my own darkness, for my own, like whatever, right? My own fears. Girl, I chose to reflect. I chose to face my fears head on. And it's like, due to most of my experiences with people, I sometimes feel like I'm a little bit like, I used to feel like I was crazy. Like now I'm like, we're all fucking crazy. But it's like my curiosity and my ability to face adversity is what keeps me grounded and what helps me grow and what helps me be able to have the gall to be able to face the unknown. And I feel like a lot of humanity has lost that. And that's why they cling to religion, because religion characterizes it, these, entities and these demons as something that you need to fight against, something that you need to condemn, something that you constantly need to like turn away from and just pray it away and pray it away and pray it away. And it never actually encourages people to face it, and it doesn't explain to people what the reality of these entities are. And that's like my biggest, is gripe the right word, my biggest like beef with religion, organized religion, the free, and in my experience, like personally, just the Bible, because it's like all of the things I've learned about myself, all of the things I've learned about the world has come from constantly being curious and being open to change and advancing, learning, growing, and not instantly categorizing something that I don't understand as something that is demonic, something that I need to divert my attention from. And it's a shame when I see people that are, naturally intuitive, because this person who was like sharing their stories with me, it's like they are an intuitive person, like down a boots, okay? And like even the fact that they kind of like found out, because I'm telling you, like I kept this shit on the low. I kept this shit on the low, and I like to think that like, I mean, at least with tarot and stuff, because again, like I know how people like feel about that stuff and like the aversion they have to it. So it's like I feel like I keep things under wraps pretty well when it comes to that. So even the fact that her intuition, you know, guided her to, what I'm doing, I feel like is just a sign within itself. And I could just also sense that she was like sensing stuff. Like, I don't know, intuition is crazy, right? And it's just like, you denounce, you deny, you have a strong aversion to the thing that you end up coming back to. And that's why people constantly have encounters with demons, constantly have encounters with things that like trigger them, because it's like you're really supposed to learn something from it, right? And it's like these people constantly keep coming back face to face, and it doesn't even have to be anything like tarot, right? Like I think about it with like, Like, let's take the LGBTQIA plus community, for example. It's like the community is growing, more people are accepting themselves. And it's like, even though comparatively the LGBT, community is like a smaller percentage compared to the, like, I guess, straight community, right? It's like straight people still have some kind of exposure to gay people, and it's because gay people are mirrors for straight people, like straight people's ignorance, like the people that like are like homophobic, you know, and especially like the straight people that like, because believe a lot of them are gay. We see the DLMN epidemic, right? And it's like, no other straight person would be able to like clock a DL person. And they mask the DL person masks themselves in a straight society well enough, right? Their repression ends up surfacing as like, anger or like just all kinds of other things. That's a whole other freaking topic that I'm not about to get into. But then the DL man always ends up running into a trans individual or running into a gay individual, some individual from the LGBT community. And I feel like that's how attraction, in the sense of like, in terms of like frequency in physics, works. Because it's like you're always going to, in some way, shape, or form, be faced with your fears, whether it be through like literally meeting a person that embodies that type of like thing that you're scared of, or like has a representative energy of what you're scared of, or if it's like just so freaking bad that it comes in the form of like, you having experiences with demons. Let me tell you something, that demon is freaking banging down your doors because you're running away from something, you're hiding from something, you're repressing something so bad that all of that negative energy that you try to displace yourself from ends up physically manifesting and is like, hey, bitch, I'm back. And even the way that this individual was talking to me about like how they deal with these types of spiritual encounters, they just ignore it. Ah, yeah, 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 I bet you do. And it can work for a little bit if you just ignore it, but it's just like in terms of like not having to deal with it. Like, guess the fuck what? It's going to come back with buddies. It's going to come back stronger. It's going to observe your behaviors, okay? And it's going to understand how to make you crack. It's going to understand how to poke and prod and try to enter into that wound that you're not dealing with. And the way that I've come to like understand possession, it's just like you submit under power to your own ignorance, to your own fear, to your own weakness. It's like you lose, like you just end up like losing yourself, man. It's like, because and all you end up doing is letting your wound get so out of control that all of the anger that you feel, the shame and repression, guess what? You become a perfect vessel for entities that vibrate at that frequency to embody, like to take over. And then you just become a medium of oppression, and you try to control other people, and you like snuff out others that may struggle with the same things that you struggled with, or you become a weapon against authenticity. Because going back to the gay, LGBTQIA example, it's like they embody authenticity. And I feel like LGBTQ, they are a powerful representation that love exists outside of binaries. Love And authenticity exists outside of the structure, the patriarchal structures that have controlled, okay? Because it's that stronghold has collapsed. And that's why this world is in disarray, because now things are not contorting, but like rearranging itself and rebalancing itself to the way that it should be, okay? Because this patriarchy is not natural order. Long live the matriarchy. But anyway, anyway, um yeah, like the way that the world is structured is to keep people repressed and scared and fearful of embracing, the unknown and embracing themselves, because again, with the LGBTQ representing like authenticity and love beyond what we are spoon fed to believe, it's like just even coming across like a gay person is going to make a regular schmegular have to think deeper than what they've been indoctrinated into believing. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave that there. That's why so many people get tormented, and I personally see a pattern, okay? And I'm sure like this is just my own anecdotal experience, but I'm so certain that if somebody conducted a study of like people who could, um say that they like experience like demonic oppression and stuff like that, there's something in their family line or like within that person that is being repressed, being hidden, being rejected, or being feared, or there's some kind of misalignment. Because even within my own family line, my own bloodline, I felt like there was this thing, this this what do you call it, there's like this darkness looming around, and it was something that encapsulated like my whole family tree. It was something I could see so young and something I felt so young, and honestly throughout my life, until I had to face myself. And it was a journey I had to go on my own. I had to discover this stuff like on my own. And it's like moving past all that, moving past all that, it's like I said, I don't deal with demonic oppression and like seeing shadow figures and da 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 da. You know what I mean? And it's like any time that I have like even dreams like yesterday that just like low key not stress me out because girl I'm fine now, but just in the moment caused such emotional distress. I'm like, okay, well, what is that reflecting to me? Like, what's the message? What is it reflecting to me? Like, what do I need to blah 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 blah? Like, I assess it versus immediately placing a uninformed value judgment on said thing just because of how it made me feel in the moment. And it's so there's a lot of words: embarrassing, unfortunate, well maybe not embarrassing, I won't go as far as to say that yet, but we'll see where I'm at with it in like a year or so. But like it's unfortunate that so many people are uninformed and living through a sense of fear, and all of their opinions that they consume and then and then share is all fear mongering or misinf- misinformation. Disinf- you get the point I'm trying to say. And yeah, and it's always like Christians or something like that. And like another thing too is like they give so much power to, like, don't you think it's funny like stepping away from all the, like let's just talk for a moment, okay? Don't you think it's funny how much power like Christians give to demons and like dark spirits and stuff like that, when it's like their God is supposed to be like all loving, all knowing, all encompassing, all whatever. So like when you see a tarot reader, like, and like they, they believe in oracles exist, and people have a connection to God and all that stuff. So it's like when they see a tarot reader, though, it's like their mind goes automatically to negative spirits. Like you're getting your information from demons and negative spirits and da 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 da, and like that's a work of the devil and blah blah blah. They give so much more power to the devil than they do their own God. It's like, why is that your first instinct? It's a mirror into their mind. And that's why I don't bother humoring anything that they have to say. I don't engage in any of their information. I mean, I've already grown up indoctrinated into that type of religious and patriarchal system. And just how I am at my core when I'm embracing my most authentic self, it does not resonate with that framework whatsoever. So, as long as I was chasing the path of truth and enlightenment and freedom, I was never going to be in alignment with those structures. And when I was younger, I used to be like, what? Like, I used to be like kind of upset, because that type of stuff used to run the world, you know what I mean? And you're ostracized if you did not fit into those types of structures. And just me even making this video now is just like another reinforcing moment for me where it was like, yeah, I was never meant for it, because it is a close-minded, fear-mongering system that thrives off of oppression, shaming people, and fear-mongering. And I'm not a victim to nobody. And I would never want to spread any information based off of those things that those systems thrive off of. I would never want to help fortify such a fucked up institution, such a fucked up system, whether it be like the religious one or the patriarchal one. Just had to roll my eyes one more time because god damn, god damn. And I didn't even bother having this discourse. I just let the person, tell me about their experiences and stuff. But like, I didn't even bother going down this rabbit hole, because it's like somehow if you have this kind of discourse with somebody, then they still manage to turn it around and make you like it seem like you're a vessel for Satan. Well, I guess in this case, hail Satan. And and yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's all I have to really say to that. Like I'm gonna just start messing with you at this point because bitch, what the fuck? Like let's just be so for real now. I think that's really all I have to say. So, and I really hope that this helps some people, if you're dealing with spiritual oppression, because even when you go into like witchcraft and stuff like that, people that try to, whether it be, because there's a lot of people that do it unknowingly. So like for example, these Christians that run around fear mongering and all that stuff, they are more likely to engage in like subconscious or like unconscious witchcraft, because it's like they're constantly sending bad vibes and like fear and shame other people's way that don't align with what they've been indoctrinated to believe. So how about you put that in your pipe and smoke it, Christian? uh, um but for the people, whether it be unintentional or like intentional, when you are doing like witchcraft or like sending evil eye somebody's way, it's like all you can do is focus on somebody's shame, somebody's weakness, somebody's trauma. And that's why somebody, even if you're not like completely healed, somebody who is open enough and curious enough and willing enough to work through their own pains and wounds is somebody uncontrollable. It doesn't matter your physical strength or your mental strength. your intelligence or anything like that. That's why it doesn't always work. And that's why it's something that's not worth fearing, because nobody has dominion over your soul. Like, we all come here, we experience things, we go through things, we have to learn, grow, heal, and all that stuff. And just that main quality of being open and authentic on your journey and willing to learn the lessons makes you impenetrable. It makes you an impenetrable force to people who, knowingly or unknowingly cast, that work with like evil spirits and try to like send negative spirits your way to stop you or to end you or anything, of that nature. It will never work. It will never work. It only would work on somebody who is so fearful and so shameful and so like oh, I gotta hide, and like I can't, somebody who's like opposite of like open-minded and curious and willing to learn the lessons and willing to like engage in this journey of life, right? So that's literally the only tip that you need on dealing with like witchcraft. If you feel like you're like going through anything, or somebody sending you evil eye, right? It's like, what is it that these things bring up? How can you face them, overcome them? And then boom. And it's the quickest way to level up on these people that have ill will. And that's why, even though Christianity has been a thing that's been forced on the people for so long, it's not a definite answer to, problems, because it's still, at the end of the day, teaches people how to submit to oppression. And then the people that are effed up and are in power, it just teaches them how to, will still circumvent their own responsibility and then put it on to others. Hence why it promotes slavery. Hence why it disempowers women. Hence why the patriarchy also bets on those same things of shaming the outsiders, shaming the outliers, and oppressing them and making sure that they are an abysmal, controllable group. Because if that group is out of control, then the mirror that those outliers hold up to, the patriarchy and religious systems, it's scary for them. It's life threatening for a lot of them. But like for the people that are willing, that aren't NPCs, that are willing to learn and grow and change, it's such a powerful force. Because the outsiders, the outliers, the people that don't follow man-made structures are what where you can find real love, where you can find true authenticity and true freedom. That's all I have to say. If you watch this whole video, that's tea, because I feel like I kind of snagged a little bit. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I would really love to know what you think, how you feel about it. If you agree, if you disagree. Um, and if you disagree, then let me know why, because hello. And yeah, with all of that said, if you would like to book a tarot reading with me, with yours truly, check out the information in my channel description and go on ahead and book yourself a reading. And let's work through this crazy journey of life together and laugh at all of the people that think that they're in a position of power, but they are really just upholding or trying to uphold, because bitch is crumbling, a system of oppression, fear mongering, misinformation, disinformation, misinformation, girl, fuck. um, and fear. That's the team you want to play on. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.